How to stop suppressing emotions. What happens when you suppress your emotions for too long? You push them down there. Is it healthy to suppress your emotions? But most importantly, how to stop suppressing emotions. That is today's topic. Welcome to Emotional Healing Guru. I help men and women who need emotional healing go from insecure and anxious to feeling confident and full of vitality. So if that sounds like up your alley, feel free to subscribe because this is the right place for you. I am going to go through these questions one at a time, so here we go. What happens when you suppress your emotions for too long? This is a great question. Does it affect you physically? You see, what happens is every day we all have emotions, right? We go through our day, we're emotional beings, human beings, and we all have emotions. What happens is an emotion comes into your body. Sometimes you feel that energy physically, right? There's a physical energy that comes into your body. You know that feeling like that pit in your stomach, or that nervousness, or that feeling down your arms or in your chest, or when you breathe, right? You know the physical feeling of an emotion? That is the physical energy of the emotion. So an emotion comes into your body. And what happens is it starts little and then it starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then eventually it peaks. And then it starts to dissipate and then eventually it leaves, right? Now, what happens when you suppress those emotions, meaning that emotion comes in and you're feeling it and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then you know what happens? You feel like sometimes those emotions, you're not comfortable with them. You don't want to feel those emotions. You don't like those emotions. You want to run away from those emotions. You don't want to admit that you have those emotions. You don't want anyone to see that you have those emotions. What happens is you push them down and push them down and push them down. You suppress those emotions. You don't let them come up. You don't let them affect you, that you feel them fully and they get bigger and bigger and bigger and you're taken away by your emotions. You push them down and push them down and push them down. So the first thing that happens is you get trapped emotions, okay? That physical energy, the energy from that emotion, you feel that in your body when you get an emotion, that physical energy, it's like a ball of energy, it gets trapped somewhere in your body. And that blocks the energy flow. It can, wherever it's lodged, it can cause susceptibility to illness or to injury. That physical energy gets lodged somewhere in your body. The next thing that happens is that it's always trying to come back up. That emotion, it keeps you feeling it, and you keeps trying to come back at it, and you keep pushing it down again. So then again and again, you're feeling this. It's like haunting, you're chasing after you, trying to come up, and you're pushing it down and pushing it down, pushing. You know what happens when you just let it get really big and uncomfortable and huge? What happens? It eventually peaks, and then it gets smaller, and then it leaves you, and then you feel so much better. And you're like, whoa, that really wasn't actually as bad as I thought. And sometimes it really was as bad as you thought, but at least it finished. It went through you. That is how to stop suppressing emotions, to allow them to get big, to allow them to peak, to get huge, to overtake you, where you're feeling like, or you're feeling like you want to cry, and you just let yourself cry. Be emotional, feel hurt, feel the emotions that you don't want to let yourself feel. Like, no, that didn't bother me. It's fine. I don't care. I don't really care. No, but you do actually care. And that's why it keeps coming back up and pushing up and pushing up, and you keep pushing it down. When you feel emotions, instead of suppressing them, let them just get big. Let them get huge. Let them take over. And sometimes it's only for 3 minutes. And sometimes it's for 2 hours. And sometimes it's for 5 days. These emotions, they get up and big and huge inside of you, and then eventually they don't stay there forever. Eventually they dissipate and they leave you. And then you're not suppressing those emotions. You're not catching those trapped emotions. You're not making that you're going to end up having to push it down and push it down again and again and again and again. You're allowing it to just come to the surface, get big, get ugly, get uncomfortable, and then eventually it leaves. That is the key point for how to stop suppressing emotions, to just allow them to get big. You know, I have clients every day who they come in and we clear trapped emotions, and we go back to their childhood and to their younger years and their teens. Everyone's got lots of trapped emotions from teens. And then, you know, they ask me like, what do I do to like not let this happen again? Because I don't want to always have to come back to you clearing trapped emotions. And that is the key factor. Allow yourself. A lot of us have been trained, and a lot of us are afraid to allow ourselves to feel our emotions or to be vulnerable in front of other people. How do you stop getting trapped emotions? Is to allow yourself to feel those emotions. And there's many different ways that people do this, okay? I go into my room sometimes, I will lock the door, and I'll just say the emotions out loud. I'll say, I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling taken for granted, I'm feeling over the top, I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling used, I'm feeling exhausted, I'm just feeling emotions, and I can feel them out loud and say them and admit them and like just let them be. You know, a lot of people love going outdoors to like nature or a lake or a field or somewhere where they can just like walk it out and talk it out and let it out. I have clients who like to pray on emotions, and I have clients who like to journal emotions or think emotions. Sometimes you want to let your emotions out by calling someone, calling your sister, your best friend, your mother, talking it out with your spouse. There are so many ways of expressing and allowing your emotions to just come up, whether it's talking to another person or to a higher being or out into the field or to yourself in your room, allowing yourself to just be there with your emotions. You know, some other things that I have tried and I've seen clients do is even listening to music that's meaningful with beautiful lyrics. That, you know, you hear the music and you play it again and again, and it has its own meaning to you, and to be able to play those songs and sing it out and let the emotions just flow. That is one beautiful, meaningful way of allowing your emotions to just come up. Now, next question you're going to ask me is, well, you know what? I hate to break it to you, but I have a very busy schedule, and I can't just stop what I'm doing. In the middle, I've got like 3 kids in the back that are all fighting, and we're doing carpool, and then all of a sudden I'm feeling these emotions. I'm like, stop everyone. I have to feel my emotions now. I hear you. Trust me, I totally get it. What you need to do is give yourself a 30-second feel. Like okay, right now I'm feeling really frustrated, over the top, insane, a little bit like I'm gonna lose it, and I almost feel like I want to kill someone. Okay, feel that. I'm gonna come back to that in 3 hours. Then you do all the things that you need to do, and when you come back to regrouping, do it. Regroup, come back, don't forget about it. Don't just keep chasing, because you know what you end up doing? It's like you want to run away from those emotions, and then you know, I've got to go, and then you have to go shopping, and then you need to eat chocolate, and then you need to Netflix, and then you run away from those emotions, and you want to keep busy and keep going and keep doing other things and talking to other things, taking care of everything else, but I want to run away from those emotions. Don't let that happen. Don't run away from the emotions. Come back to them. If you're busy at this particular moment, I get you. Give a 30-second feel and say, I'm going to come back to them, and then come back to them. Come back to them 2 hours later, 20 minutes later, 5 hours later, at the end of the day. But give yourself time to feel those emotions. Don't keep going. Don't keep running. Allow yourself time to really process the feelings, understand what you're feeling. Sometimes we don't even get what the feelings are until we give ourselves space to really feel them and get what's under them. Like anger is a feeling, emotion that often we have, but there's something underneath it. There's something deeper. There's something like, I'm feeling angry because I'm feeling hurt. I was feeling left out. I'm feeling like I'm undervalued. That's why I got angry. Find out what's really at the root of it and allow yourself to just feel that yeah, I really am feeling this way. And that's okay. That is the core essence of allowing yourself to feel your feelings, allowing yourself not to suppress your feelings. That's how to stop suppressing your feelings, to allow them to come up, bubble up, get big, get huge, get ugly and uncomfortable, and eventually they dissipate and then they leave you. And that is how you can feel like you can move on. you can move on to the next step. And there is a next step. After you're feeling that emotion, then you move on to the next step. You know what? I'm going to reframe. I'm going to look at the cup half full. I'm going to see all the other things I have in my life. I'm going to notice the good relationships I have. I'm going to work on this. Whatever your next step is, if it's reframing or making a to-do list of how to move on, or finding the good in your life, you need to have a second step, but don't take that second step before you take the first step, which is to feel your feelings, the opposite of repressing your feelings, allowing yourself to be there and be you and be okay with all those ugly feelings inside of you. That's our video for today. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and any further videos that you'd like to hear, any topics you want to hear spoken about, leave them in the comments. I read them, and I hope to see you in the next video.